members.
Mhm.
So shall we start or shall we wait for some more time or what?
Maybe we can wait till like 6:50 and we can start.
Okay, last 2 minutes and then we will get started.
Okay.
In the meantime, can you please provide me the sharing option?
Yeah, sure, Rafi.
Yeah, Rahul, please share.
It is enabled now.
Okay. Can someone please confirm whether my screen is visible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Anyone?
Screen visible now.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, let's get started. And let me just, cover up the previous session in the meantime, what we have achieved and what we have covered into the last session. So this is a series of IGA and IGA core capabilities part. So this is my fourth session. The first one was IGA. What is IGA and all about? Then the core capabilities we have talked about. Part 1, part 2, and today is the part 3. So what we have covered so far is the integration. We have covered identity lifecycle management, how the JML works as far as IGA is concerned, the role-based access control, the policy-based access control, access request, access approvals, certifications. This is what we have covered. So today's agenda is basically to cover up the separation of duties, which is known as SODs. And I also added one more capability into it, which is basically known as a risk score or the risk levels, basically how to calculate and how to put up that into the IGA policies. So today we are going to cover up the separation of duties and the risk score. Okay, let's get started with the session. So what all these segregation of duties, SODs. So segregation of duties is a security and governance principle. So we have to be very sure it is not a framework or nothing like technological term. It is basically security and governance principle that restricts users from having access to multiple roles or to the permissions when combined could lead to the risk or abuse, such as fraud, data leakage, or the policy violation. So segregation is duties is a governance principle. Sorry, I was disconnected from the call. Somehow, I don't know why. I'm back now. I hope I'm audible, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you are audible.
But my screen is not visible, correct?
Yep.
Visible now?
Yes,
Yeah, we
Ashish.
can
Now,
see your screen. Yep.
Okay. So I was just covering the IGA SOD. So it is going to be the principle and the most important part for having the segregation of duties to not allow having the multiple roles or the permissions within the IDM system altogether. So understand why SOD is, too much important as far as IGA is concerned. The number one, it prevents the conflicts of interest. It avoids, by doing this, it avoids giving one user too much of control over a process or into the system. So conflict of interest, it prevents. It strengthens the compliance. It helps meeting up the regulatory standards. It could be SOX, HIPAA, GDPR, ISO, and several others. It enhances the risk management by doing the risk score, the risk levels. It minimizes the potentials for the fraud, abuse, and the accidental misconfigurations. It supports the auditability. Easier to audit, access, and demonstrate the control effectiveness. So this is why the SODs are important in any of the IGA system. Now let us understand the example what I'm going to give, examples of SOD. Uh, there is a user who can do two type of functions altogether, function 1 and function 2. And what could be the conflict which might occur because of these functions. So put yourself into the user shoe and try to understand. So you yourself is creating a vendor into the system and you yourself is approving the vendor payment. Function 1 and function 2. So what it leads towards? It leads that same person could pay the fake to the fake vendor. So it is a fraud risk which is coming in. So this is one scenario. The second scenario, user creates a user account and approves the access rights for that particular user. We don't know whether the user account creation was as per the governance, whether the access rights give those access rights which has been given, whether it has been approved, not approved, and if it is approved, approved by whom. So, and this also goes into a conflict where the excessive privilege escalations might happen. A third scenario, you create a purchase order and you approve the purchase order. So these kind of, three examples I have taken. There could be many as far as the type of organization or type of industry you are into. But these are somehow, the examples of segregation of duties. So person who is creating vendor, that person should not be able to approve the vendor payments. Someone who is creating the user account, like an HR, then they should not be able to give you the access rights. If you are creating the purchase order, you should not be approving the purchase order altogether. So now we know what is SOD, why SODs matter to us, and what all the different could be the examples. Now let us understand how IGA handles this SOD. So handling SOD within IGA, there are going to be the defined segregation of duties policies. There will be segregation policies violation checks. There could be preventive control. There could be detective control. Preventive is when we are already having the policies in place. Detective control based on the reports, based on the audits, based on the history, we can detect and we can do the control mechanism. And there could be some automated remediations can also be done into it. But mostly it is going to be the policy check, and based on the risk score and all, your risk score for the user and risk score for the application will be generated. And based upon that, the segregation of duties can be implemented. How this risk score can be calculated and how we should assign, I will come to that just after one slide. I hope I'm clear so far. Any issues here in IGA SOD? Basic explanation.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So if we are good, let's go to the next slide and understand what are the different type of SODs are available and what could be the best example for that. So this basically helps us to understand what kind of a different policies you can write using IGA. So if you look at the very first column of the table, it says preventive SODs. These are what? These are proactively blocks assignment of the conflict role or access during the provisioning. So this is proactively being done as far as the preventive SODs are concerned. Example I have taken, a user cannot be assigned both create invoice and approve invoice roles. So at the time of provisioning of the user account, because of preventive SOD, the entitlements or the permissions will not be given to that particular user. So that avoids the conflicts going forward. There could be detective type of SODs, which basically identifies and flags, give the flag information to the existing violation in the system for the review and remediation. Like, take an example, IGA scans to show a user with both create PO and approve PO roles. So if you scan within your system that how many users are having this permission or this kind of a role, then you should be able to find out that there will be several users or there are a lot many users coming into with this particular role. If the report shows or the policy output shows you this, you have to fix that particular part. Similarly, we have a corrective type of SODs. It enables you for the remediation action to resolve identified conflicts. Now, corrective SOD means you are supposed to correct it, revoke one of the conflicting roles or the assigned to the different user. So in corrective, what we are doing is we are revoking the conflicting roles and assigning it to the different user. Similarly, manual SODs also can be executed, managed through your human oversight, like during the audits or during the access reviews. You find it out that this particular permission and this particular permission both are conflicting. So it should not be given to a user. So that also can be done, manual checks. Automated. Based upon your maturity of your organization, you can define the different type of policies which can contain, the different checks or different control mechanism, different risk score, different risk levels. And by that, you can write the policies, preventive policies, and they will be executed the moment some provisioning is done or any new provisioning is done or any updates are happening to the user accounts or to the application permissions. There could be static as type of SODs also. So based on role or entitlement combination that should never coexist. Like admin and auditor's role cannot be held simultaneously. So you cannot have these two roles altogether given to a user. You are an admin as well as you are an auditor. Similarly, dynamic SODs also can be done like based on your, context awareness, context of the session, what time you are doing the transaction, and which geographical location you are part of, what sort of, the standards to be followed. During Saturday, Sunday, are you doing any transaction or you are doing the transaction before 8 o'clock or after 8 o'clock? So all those things can be also written as part of a policy is concerned. And the last one which I have mentioned is mitigated. So exceptions are allowed, but I mean, with the controls like logging and approvals, we should be able to mitigate mitigated type of SODs. It is just a temporary access granted with the manager justification in the audit role. So though we know that there is a conflict, but still we are giving you that permission for a specific time period. So this basically comes as far as your mitigated SODs are concerned. I hope the types are clear. Any question? I would like to understand in case there is any question coming up. Guys, if we make it the interactive session, that will be much more enjoyable. Any questions coming up to your mind? Whether it is relevant, whether it is not relevant, question is question. If you want, you can ask. Unmute yourself, ask a question. Okay, no question. So let's understand what are the best practices to be followed when you are writing the policies for the SODs. The rules are supposed to be created and they are supposed to be highlighted as critical, high, medium, or low risk. With that particular part, you should be able to write the SOD policies. Integrate your SOD checks, especially when the access request, the role engineering, and the certification of the accesses are being done. And always make sure that your SOD metrics are updated with the changing business processes. Today, you understand that there are only 5 types of applications are available. After a quarter, there will be 25 different other applications coming in for the integration. So you are supposed to update your SOD matrix. Someone has to sit and understand what are different permissions are available, what all different entitlements are available, what is the purpose of those, who should be having this particular permission, who should not be having this particular permission. Already there are several users available into the system to whom I should assign, whether there is some conflict coming in or whether there will be some conflict might occur. So all those things you have to keep on updating as far as SOD matrix is concerned. Otherwise, the maintenance of SOD matrix is very, very important aspect. If you do not do it, you are going to lead into a different situation then. If we are clear with this, now I am moving to another part where the risk score is coming in and the risk levels will be coming in. Okay, let me ask a question. What do you mean by risk score and why it is important? Risk score. Let me try to make session interactive.
What was the question? Can you repeat again, please?
Yeah. So my question is, now SODs are done. We are going into the risk score. Why we should, think about scoring a risk to a user or to an application or to the entitlement?
We should scoring the risk to prevent our applications or environment for any kind of big risk, so that we can take necessary action before that.
Okay, what else? Anybody else? Why we should score the risk?
That could be like defined like how much vulnerable your environment, like if it is like your environment having like okay 90% above is fine, but if you're having a risk score few of the entitlement like 40% or 20%, which is means it is a high risk where maybe exposure to the attack or maybe multiple things are there, user holding it multiple roles, like as you have mentioned here, right? Approve invoice and then create an invoice, right? So that will like can like risk for the environment which if it is coming like below threshold, like 90% below.
And
Okay.
addition to this, we can categorize that the risk level, and mitigate according to that, prioritize. Right.
Correct. Correct. Yes, you are also right. What else?
It will
Based
help.
on
It will
sensitive.
help us. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Based on application sensitive criteria, where the information is either confidential or private or public, like that.
Mm-hmm. You are also right. Yeah, say it.
Yeah, it will help us, prioritize, potential risk coming up, in the security. So, risk score matters there. Like we can actually look into the risk scores and you can, and then, work accordingly to make it more secure. Like if it
Correct.
is like below the threshold, as
Yes.
somebody already said that.
Yes. So all of you are, right. No one is wrong. But I mean, how I look it, as far as the risk score is concerned, if I get a score of the risk which I could foresee that it is coming in, I could prioritize what I should do, whether I should accept and leave it, whether I should accept, act on it, whether why should, or should I, just accept and ignore it. If there is some actions are supposed to be done based on priority, then obviously there is a task coming in for us that yes, this particular application or this particular user is having higher risk. So he or she should not be allowed more provisioning on to the different applications. If the application is coming high score, the risk score is high, then it means before we start provisioning the users into it, we have to be double sure, triple sure that users are going into the right roles. User are getting the right roles, users are getting the right permissions, users are getting right entitlements onto that. And in case entitlement itself is a risk, high risk entitlement, then while approving the access request, we can be double sure so that the chances of failure is less, chances of non-compliant will be less. I hope I'm clear.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, so what is risk score? Yeah, go
One
ahead.
thing I want to know.
Go ahead, Surjit. Surjit, we are not able to hear you. I think, you know, Surjit, we are not able to hear you. Right now you are on mute. If you are talking, you have to unmute. Okay, let's wait for Surjit to fix his problem, network, or might be some other issue. Okay, coming back. What is IGA risk score? Risk level and the scores helps the organization quantify and prioritize the access related risk. Very important point here is quantify and prioritize. This is what I said, that it gives me the priority order. What should I do? So this basically tells us to quantify and prioritize the access related risk. This allows security teams to focus on high risk users, high risk roles, or high risk entitlements and take action to reduce the chances of policy violation, fraud, and or data breaches. I hope 2-3 important words are here which are very, very important. Quantify, prioritize, high risk user, high risk roles, and high risk entitlements. And this is to reduce the chances of policy violation. So this is what the usage and the risk score is all about. Then let's come to the risk score in IGA. A risk score, what is the risk score? It is going to be a numerical value. You can assign 0 to 100 or 0 to 10. You can assign it to a user. You can assign it to a role. You can assign it to an entitlement, or you can assign it based upon the activities what someone is doing. I will take an example also how to calculate and how to assign that. So I mean, just understand this. The risk score is a numerical value, whereas the risk level is the categorization. The risk level is the categorization in which you classify them as a low, medium, high, critical, and you can derive it from the risk score. Now, let's understand the risk score, the risk level, and the meanings of it. So this don't go by this figure that Ashish has given. So this is 100% right figure. No, this varies with the organizations to organizations and industry to industry. But this is what I feel it is the right value. That is why I'm just showing it. The risk score, which is below 30, you can say it is a low risk level. It could be minimal risk or the routine access related problems. Something which is above 30 and till 60, if the risk score is coming till there, you can classify that as a medium risk level. You can mention that there could be some risk or the review is recommended. Something which is beyond 61 and something which is lesser than 80, you can classify that as a high risk activity. It means it is going to be an elevated risk, needs approval and the remediation. Something which is beyond 80 till 100, it is a critical activity not only for the organization, even to the transactions what you are going to do with that. So it is severe risk and access should be restricted. So this is what the risk score, risk level, and the meanings of it. I hope it is clear.
Yes. One thing I want to know that whether the SODs is related to the risk score. Like if risk score is 81 to 100, then SOD will be segregated according to that risk score.
You can always club the risk score along with the SODs.
Okay.
You can always do so, but what I've seen is the segregation of duties basically works with the permissions and the entitlements,
Okay.
typically. So if your entitlement is coming as an high risk, then obviously, while doing the SOD, while writing the SOD policies, your policy will also become high. I mean, from the category point of view or the
Yeah.
execution point of view.
Yeah. Right. Thank you.
Anybody is having any questions still here?
Yes, Ashish. Like what I understand, in case of SOD, like there are a combination of access should not be given together, like they are called toxic combinations, right? So
So
is it
yeah, please repeat your question.
sure, sure. So like there are toxic combinations, right? Like set of access should not be given to the same person, right? So is it possible like two different critical access are together not in toxic combination and they should be allowed or they can be allowed?
It could be possible. It could be possible. There could be possibility of both. That
Yes.
two entitlements, both are toxic and they are being given to one user, which is not supposed to be. So policy should be separate for that. And there is another case where the two entitlements are toxic, but they are not, conflicting with each other. They are not conflicting with each other. So this particular entitlement can be given to a user.
So in that case, how does the risk score add up?
So risk is it's separate. Risk is separate and SOD is separate. So where you stuck? I mean, I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I
Where
mean,
did
at
you
high
stuck?
level, I understood, but just maybe can you give me one example of maybe mobile banking app or something that we use in real life?
Yeah, I'll be
So
coming to that. I'll be coming to that. Don't worry.
thanks.
So I have 3 more slides to cover. In that, there is an example which I have taken how to calculate and all. So you should be able to understand. So let's come to how the risk scores are calculated. So there is another factor comes in. There is something called weight. Risk scores are usually calculated using weight as in one of the factor. The risk factor could be your, entitlement sensitivity, number of entitlements or roles given, how many type of SOD conflicts you are part of it, access of privilege accounts or admins, how much you have taken, different account anomalies, role criticality, access duration, geography or the login anomalies, or the type of users you are. So on basis of all this, the risk score can be calculated. Now let's understand, by the examples of each. When I say entitlement sensitivity, it means access to the financial system is riskier than to the public data. So when you are allowing some of the entitlements to a user and the application is a finance-based application, you are supposed to be very, very sure. You are supposed to be very, very sure that this particular entitlement has to be given and what type of risk score you wanted to assign to this application entitlement. Similarly, number of entitlements or role. How many type of entitlements and the roles you are having into your system and how many you are giving it to one user. The more access you give to one user, there are higher potential of the exposures or higher potentials that something will go wrong in. So you should always look into the sensitivity of the entitlement and the number of entitlement and roles. How many SOD conflicts you are already part of it. You are giving a new permission to a user who is already having so many SOD conflicts. Then you should stop it or you should look into users with the SOD violation gets higher scores. Users are already part of SOD violation and you are still assigning more permissions to that particular user. Isn't it something alerting to you or alarming to you? It should, right? Different type of account anomalies like dormant account you are giving, orphaned account you are giving, or to the shared account you are giving. So these 3 different accounts are generally considered risky. You should not give these kind of, application permissions and application entitlements straight away to anyone. You should always look different type of account anomalies. Roles. Similarly, roles carries more risk. Like you are giving a payroll manager as a role to anyone. Payroll is a very, very specific role to be given to anyone because payroll manager as a role, it means someone can easily access all your finance related information. What is your CTC? What is your basic? What is your calculation? What is the income tax deductions and all those things, including your sensitive data like the PAN number, Aadhaar number, or maybe the PF account number and all those things. So when you are giving role, you are supposed to be not only just give straight away, you are supposed to be very, very sure. And this has to be more score, high risk. Access duration. Long standing or the permanent access adds to risk. Now someone is working right up, 24 hours logging into one of the application. This is something alerting, alarming. Somebody is working on Saturdays, Sundays, alarming. The moment you see this, you should move that particular user from low risk to medium at least, if not to high. That you are doing this particular part over the weekend, which is not allowed. Why and how? You are supposed to give the justification and somebody has to take an approval of it. What kind of a user you are, whether you are a contractor, employee, or the third-party vendors. So based upon that, the risk scores will be calculated. In case of the geolocation or the login anomalies, okay, especially I mean the BFSI domain, let's suppose somebody has done some transaction for the I mean finance related transaction, NEFT let's suppose, or maybe some other transaction, and you find that particular person logging from the India domain, and just after the transaction he shifts back to some other domain outside India. So another something is happening wrong over here. Why person is just doing the transaction here and shifting back to some other domain. So these are some of the things which you should always factor while coming up with this risk score, and these are called weights. So weights you should be able to assign. Before you go to the formula, let us understand what is the weight is all about. Again, as the risk score, the weight is also a numerical multiplier which determines how much a specific risk factor contributes to the overall risk score. Okay? Are you able to understand this particular part? The last line. A weight is a numerical multiplier that determines how much a specific risk factor contributes to the overall risk. To understand this, look at the first, look at the formula and the first bracket, which says entitlement risk into weight.
Yeah.
I have one question.
Yeah, tell me please.
Yeah. What is the difference between role and entitlement?
Both are different. Role contains the entitlements. Role contains the entitlement.
Okay.
So it means role is a bigger umbrella. Entitlement and permissions will be part of your roles.
So permission is different, entitlement is different. Right.
Yes, permissions are different and entitlements are different.
This is just like authentication or authorization. So you can understand like that way.
No, let me just make her understand. Entitlement is something which is available onto the target application. And let's suppose all of us must be using Office 365 nowadays. And you are using, let's suppose, webmail. So it means you are having a specific license given to you, which is the entitlement given to you. And based on that, you could use the webmail. But you do not have the permission to install Outlook onto your system, which means Outlook as an app is not available. It means you do not have the permission. You have the entitlement only for the webmail, Outlook. But as an Outlook app, you cannot install. So this is the difference. I hope you are clear. Or should I take one more example? Sadhna.
Entitlement is like for some specific activity, checking the mail in the browser. And permission is something like able to install Outlook on the desktop.
Okay, let me take a real life example for you. You are a student of one of the school, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you are supposed to go to the library.
Mm-hmm.
For that you are entitled.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, in the library, you are not supposed to access the desktop.
Mm-hmm.
It means you are having the entitlement to enter into the library, But in the library, there are different other set of resources which are available. You can read the books, you can read the newspaper, you can read the magazines, you can read the blogs and articles, but you cannot touch or you cannot access the computer over there. It means you are not permitted to do so. But you are allowed to go inside the library. So permissions are something like, read access, write access, update access, delete access, all those things. Entitlements is something like what, like let's suppose you are an admin or a root account onto the non-Windows server. So you are having some entitlement, but as far as the permission is concerned, permissions are controlled. Still unclear?
No. It's a bit better now. Thank you. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Okay. I hope, the library example
Yes,
would have cleared
Yeah.
some sort of
yes,
confusion.
yeah. Actually, permissions we see in groups and user attributes in Linux, for example, like or file level, we see this file is read only or
Correct. So those are permissions.
yeah.
But entitlement is when you log into the system. With that account, what permissions you have, that will be defined in the lower level.
Okay.
So it means the entitlement is basically on a higher side. The permissions are very fine grained.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That makes it very simple. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Others are having any other view? They can add upon. Just don't say that what Ashish is saying is correct. Okay, so I was into the entitlement, risk, and weight. This is what I was talking about. Now, for my organization, entitlement risk is more. My managers and my management has told me clearly that forget about SOD conflict, forget about privilege access, forget about account status. For me, the entitlement risk is something which I wanted to put in as the main criteria. Then what will I do? Being as an IGA admin or IGA expert into this, the entitlement risk and the weight will be highest. Whereas SOD conflict and weight will be bit lower. So now when you access the entitlement risk multiplied by weight, then addition of SOD conflicts and weight, then the privilege access into weight, plus account status into weight, plus there could be more like user type, there could be more like SOD conflicts, there could be more like entitlement sensitivity. All those things I could add and I can generate a risk score formula. This is the one of the example. Is this clear? How this formula is being derived?
Yeah, it's clear, but I have doubt on weight. How to calculate the weight of any particular thing?
Coming up.
Okay.
So this is the example which I have taken. Now you can understand the risk factor is SOD conflict. For the organization, the risk score, they are saying yes, something which is coming under already as an SOD conflict, the score should be 8. And the weightage of this particular should be 30%. So the weighted contribution comes, multiply this to this,
Okay.
2.4.
Got it.
Similarly, if there is a risk factor which is privileged access, where my organization says that it could be 7 or it could be 8 or it could be 9, and the weightage, if the weightage is 25%, then the weighted contribution comes up 1.75. Similarly, for entitlement sensitivity, it comes like this. And finally, what you do, you add up all these weighted contribution. 2.4 plus 1.75 plus 1.2 plus this, which basically comes 6.5 out of 10. And you can add it this on any user, any entitlement, any application. So this addition, why we are doing it? Entitlement risk into weight plus SOD conflicts into weight plus privilege access into weight plus all these things we are adding up, and finally we are coming up with the risk score, that this is the risk score for this particular user or for this particular application or for this particular entitlement or the permission. If it is 6.5 out of 10, I could put it as what? It will go as what? It is coming up in, from the percentage wise, it is coming 6.5. So it means it is going to be a high risk level activity. What we should do, we
Yes.
should elevate the risk. We need the approvals. We need the remediations to be done. If after adding everything, my score comes above 8, which means 81 to 100, it means it is going to be a critical risk level for me. I should have, this says me that it is a severe risk. Access should be restricted for this particular user, for this particular application, as well as for this particular entitlement. So this is how you calculate the risk and the risk scores. So important things are there. Very, very important thing. Number one, the risk factors. Number two, what is the risk score you are defined by the company? What is the weight of that? And what is the high level table for categorizing them as low, medium, high, and critical? According to that, you can work upon the finding the IGA risk score and assign this IGA risk score along with the SOD policies, apply it on the users, and based on that, your show can be executed. I hope it is clear.
Yes.
Or it is overhead transmission kind of. Mr. Subramaniam, Jayaprakash, Mrinal, Rahul, Syed,
Yes, sir.
Sadhna, anyone? Anyone? Any questions? Okay. So we started with the SOD. Why SODs are important? Examples of the SODs. How IGA handles it. Different type of SODs. The best practices. What we should apply. How to find a IGA risk score. What are the different common risk levels? And then we went into what are the different risk factors. What is weight? The formula. And then the example of the risk score form.
Ashish, I have a question here.
Sure.
So when we give just in time of access, right, in terms of Azure AD, right, where we will give like someone for 8 hours access for global administrator access, and maybe like few of the users I'll be giving the access for like application developer team, right? So some of the rules we. So now maybe like when the governance team try to get the reports, right, and this is just for 8 hours because of that there is a change going on and he has been given based on the approval process or whatever change was there and all, right? So if they within that time like 8 hours, right, maybe if this is the one of the project where we need 3 4 people are involved, right, And how the weightage will be calculated here? Maybe it will be out of breach, right? The few of them will get like explicit permission on the like global admin and all.
Right. So what will happen at this particular scenario that you are supposed to work 8 hours, but you are working, let's suppose 14 hours. So already we have a risk formula applied, and based upon that, you are coming up into the high or critical category. Okay. The governance team is running the scan, and they found it that this particular person is working 14 hours, and based on that, his risk score is coming above 80 or above 60 basically. So it means there is an alert or alarm which has been generated, and it has been gone to the governance team. Correct, right?
Yeah, right.
So very first thing we should, be happy about it that we have already written a policy. We have already done the risk scoring, which is working fine. And that is why this case is coming up. So it means your IGA is in place and working fine. Now, once this notification goes to your governance team that this person is working more than 8 hours, so what they will do, they will increase your risk level, right? Let's suppose you were coming under 50, now you are coming more than 60. So what will happen? A email alert can be generated by the governance team to your manager and say that, okay, now one of the team member is coming up in a high risk or a critical risk category, and we need the justification from the manager. So manager can justify that, and if agreed by the governance team, they will come back and they will either minimize your score or the weightage of this particular category, so that you will again become compliant and fall under low to medium risk score. This is how it could be generated. It could be handled.
So that will be manually defined, right? Like based on like manager approves, yes, this is the right person who just perform the activity. So this will be like manually we will be reduce the weightage here to meet the compliance or meet the.
Yes. So this will be a manual activity because it requires the justification and the approval of the justification, and based on that only this will be done. Because see, I mean, one of the team member is working beyond 8 hours, right? Not everyone is working beyond 8 hours, right? So we cannot automate that for one person. Or I mean, if your IG system is too strong, then obviously we can write the policies and do so. But there has to be lot many automations to be done, like alerting by the governance team to your manager providing the justification is approved by the governance, then automatic policy is being triggered. So much of automation is required here.
And one more thing I want to say, like I have done the conditional access, suppose, and there is a one of the blacklisted country, maybe like Cuba or something, like. But one of the user are from that country. But when the entitlement or number of rules, right, where we have given the exception only for one user, so here risk level it will go to immediately 100, right, for that category of the like if I did like blacklisted country, right, I have defined a rule in Azure that this country is blocked.
Is anyone able to hear Mrinal? Oh, Mrinal, I'm not able to hear you.
Okay, let me disconnect that. Can you hear me now?
Mrinal,
Yeah, can you hear me now?
yes, I can.
Okay, yeah, so I have created a conditional access role for in Azure, right, to blacklist countries like suppose Cuba, where this company not doing the business, but then there is an user where we need to give the exception. But here is under the number of rules, right, where you have like here 5 example, right? So, but that user I have given the exception. So here, what will be happen here, like on the risk score? It will be immediately go to high risk, right? And how we will mitigate that one?
So first of all, this is kind of this comes under mitigated SODs. This example comes under mitigated SODs, where exceptions are allowed, but compensation controls like logging and approvals are required. So obviously, governance team will be able to come to know that, access is required. And governance team has to, first of all, take an approval that, one person can work on this particular geography. If they are
Okay.
able, if first of all they are able to get an approval, then only they will be doing something. Otherwise, they will simply reject it. And looking at the business scenario, I don't think so. It is going to be getting approval, because for one person, I don't think so. There will be some business case.
Okay, but
But
number of rules, right? This is one of the rules. Rules will be impacted, right? So that is what like my concern. It will be immediately go to 100%, right? That blacklisted country user is accessing, but even though we have
yes,
given exception.
yes, yes. So in this scenario, the geographical location is the something which is coming into the place. You can see the geolocation is also there, right?
Okay, yeah.
So the geolocation, based on that, I mean, we can add this into the risk score formula right here. Now we can add another plus. We can say geolocation. The moment geolocation and the weightage will be more. Obviously, it will not be 30, it will be 40, 50, something like
But
that.
it will not be minus, right? It will be it should be minus. Like yeah, I might be wrong. Like maybe like I have calculation, but only one rules I have geolocation based. So is should this should be in a minus to calculating the final score?
No, why
Okay.
it should be minus?
No, what are you thinking? We have given the exception and where the login unusual places like where we are defining an example, right? So I thought of it, it should be in the like minus instead of plus. Otherwise,
No, 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 this will be high risk. This will be
oh,
critical
okay.
risk. So it will be given as, that. So under this risk factor, there will be geolocation and the risk score will be 10 and weightage will be also more.
Oh, okay, got
So
it.
for that weightage, I will give maybe 40-45% and reduce the orphan account by another 5% so that we are compliant with this as 100.
Okay, got it. Ashish, thank you.
Any other question? We are beyond the time.
Nothing from my side.
Sure, Minal. I hope I answered your query.
Yes, very much. Yeah. Thank you.
Anybody else having any query? Or we are in weekend mode?
No, it's okay. I'm good.
Okay, great.
I'm also good.
So,
Yeah.
okay, great. So I have added, one more point over here. Okay, so this I forgot to cover. Okay, sorry. So typical risk factor and the suggested weights are something like this. SOD conflicts 25 to 40, privilege access 20 to 30, sensitive entitlements up to 25%, orphaned accounts or the dormant accounts up to 20, excessive access up to 15, access age 5 to 10, contractors or the third party 5 to 10%. So this is something industry standards, but I mean can vary from organization to organization. Okay, so this is I would like to take it up just another 1 minute. This is my profile, which is available on sarthi.com, sarth.com, where I started giving, the mentorships. In case somebody is interested, they can go to this particular profile. They can search me in case they feel that I could be the right mentor. There are several different services which are being offered over there. In case somebody wants to connect, please connect. Okay, so the next topic will be the industry-based, one of the use case we will take. in which we will take about IGA, how the IGA driven JML will happen, how the SSO will happen, how the IGA will take care of each and everything. So please join that session next Saturday. So that will be at 6:30 again. Hopefully to see you all in case you want some sort of an industry-based explanation of the scenarios.
Sure.
Okay, thanks all.
Yeah,
Thank you. And please, can you please send the link of the profile you shared just now on the WhatsApp?
On WhatsApp, I may not be, but what I can do is I could.
Or just show me once again. I will write it down.
What I can do is I will put this in the chat.
Sure, sure.
So from there you can.
Sarth-e.com. Okay. E.com.
So it is available into the chat. Those
Mhm.
who wants to connect, they can connect. If no questions, thanks a lot for joining the session. Over to you,
Thank you.
Kishore. Where is Kishore? Kishore is already left, huh?
Ashish, I'm here.
Okay, you are having two accounts or what?
Initially, I logged in with my phone. Later on, I joined with the laptop.
Okay, great. Okay, so thanks a lot for joining the session. Rahul, you can take the control now.
Sure, Ashish. So I think we have a lot of new user as well as the regular learners who are in the session from since beginning. The new series you have started, and I hope this will go a few more sessions, and people will benefit from the sessions you are having. Okay, so I think now it's time to close the call and close the session. And as Kishore mentioned that he's working on these recorded sessions to make them available on YouTube. So as soon as they are available, we will inform everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
Thank you
So
all. Thank you, team.
sure. So if anyone has any query, you can ask. Otherwise, I think we are good to close the session.
I think we are good.
Okay, thanks everyone then.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
then.
you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.